Okay, let's be real for a sec. Who here hasn't stood in line at a coffee shop staring at the menu like it's written in some ancient language? All those options, all that jargon.
Hmm.
It can be kind of
But
overwhelming.
it really can.
Right, like, am I the only one who feels a little surge of panic when it's my turn to order? But you know what? I have a feeling that by the end of this deep dive, we'll all be fluent in coffee shop. We'll be decoding those menus like pros.
I love it.
So, let's set the scene, shall we? Imagine this. You walk into your local coffee shop, the aroma of freshly ground beans hits you. But this time, instead of feeling intimidated, you're ready to conquer that menu.
I'm ready.
Me too. But first, we need to break it down. I mean, there are so many choices out there. What are the real differences between a simple cup of drip coffee and, say, a caramel macchiato? Help me out here.
Well, it all starts with the coffee itself. Drip coffee, that's your classic brew. It's usually described as having a clean, bright flavor.
Okay, makes sense.
Then you've got espresso. Now, espresso is a whole different ballgame. It's made by forcing hot water through very finely ground coffee beans, and that creates a much more concentrated, intense flavor.
Gotcha. So espresso is like the base for a lot of those fancier drinks, right?
You got it. Take a caramel macchiato, for example. It starts with vanilla syrup, then steamed milk, a shot of espresso, and finally that signature caramel drizzle on top. It's all about those layers of flavor.
Okay, that actually sounds pretty good right now.
Right.
But what about cold brew? That seems to be everywhere these days.
Oh, yeah. Cold brew has definitely exploded in popularity. And for good reason. It's brewed by steeping coffee grounds in cold water for a long time, like 12 hours or even more.
Wow, it's a long time.
It is, but it creates this super smooth, less acidic coffee. It's naturally a bit sweeter and often served chilled or over ice.
See, this is what I love about these deep dives. It's like a crash course in coffee knowledge. But let's be honest, even with these explanations, some of those coffee terms, they still sound like a secret code.
I know, right?
Like, what on earth is a flat white?
You're telling me. The flat white is a perfect example of how even a seemingly simple term can totally throw people off.
Seriously, is it flat because it doesn't have a lid? Like, what's the deal?
Okay, so picture a smaller latte, but with a bolder espresso flavor. That's kind of what a flat white is all about. They use a similar ratio of espresso to milk, but it's usually served in a smaller cup, so you get more of that espresso punch.
So it's for those mornings when you need an extra caffeine kick.
Exactly. Plus, it's all about the microfoam.
Micro what now?
Microfoam. It's basically steamed milk that's been textured to be super smooth and velvety. That's what gives the flat white that signature silky texture.
Okay, you're making me want to try one. I'm starting to get why people are so particular about their coffee orders.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our coffee vocab down, but then comes the truly terrifying part, actually ordering the thing.
Oh, tell me about it. I think we've all been there. Heart racing as you approach the counter.
Right. Especially when there's like a whole line of people behind you, and the barista's looking at you like, okay, what'll it be?
The pressure is real, but ordering coffee doesn't have to be this big, scary thing. It's really just about mastering a few little cues, a couple of unspoken rules, like a little dance.
Okay, so walk me through it. What can we do to project that aura of, I'm a coffee ordering pro, even if we're freaking out on the inside?
Well, first things first, timing. Timing is everything. Don't just rush the counter before the barista's even ready for you.
Right, right.
A simple good morning, or even just like a nod of acknowledgement can go a long way.
Yeah, totally.
They'll usually make eye contact or give you some kind of sign when they're ready to take your order.
So it was like, I see you, you see me, we're in this together. But what about those times when you need an extra minute to figure out what you want?
Oh, absolutely. Don't be afraid to just say, could I have a moment to decide? It shows respect for their time, and it gives you a sec to navigate those choices. Oh, 100%, because that panicked stammering when you feel put on the spot, not a good look.
Not a good look. And speaking of avoiding those deer-in-the-headlights moments, our research mentioned something about being super specific with your order.
Being specific.
Yeah. This is where those tiny details can make all the difference. Instead of just saying latte, tell them what size you want, hot or iced, and what kind of milk you'd like.
Because a latte's going to mean a million different things.
Exactly. Baristas, they're skilled, but they're not mind readers, especially when you start getting into those complicated orders. Like, can I get a sugar-free vanilla latte with oat milk and an extra shot?
Okay, yeah, that's a mouthful.
Right. The more specific you are, the better they can make your drink exactly the way you like it. Fewer misunderstandings, happier coffee drinkers all around.
So clear communication is key. But what about those times when you want to be a A little adventurous, try something new, but maybe not too crazy. Our research mentions something about asking about specials or seasonal drinks. What's the deal with that? Oh, that's a great way to break the ice and maybe discover your new favorite drink. It's like giving the barista permission to wow you with their knowledge.
So I'm not just stuck with the same old, same old.
Exactly. Plus, baristas are usually super passionate about coffee. They love helping people find their perfect cup.
That's awesome. Okay, we've navigated the menu. We've ordered like champs. What happens now?
Now the waiting game begins.
Ah, yes, the pickup sound.
Mmm.
Where everyone's kind of awkwardly hovering, trying to make eye contact with the barista, but also not wanting to, like, crowd the...
It's its own little social ecosystem, All those sounds, the espresso machine, the blenders, people calling out names. It's a lot.
It really is. So are there, like, unspoken rules for navigating this pickup zone? Help a newbie out.
Rule number 1, pay attention. When they call your name, be ready.
Okay, that makes sense.
Seriously, be present and ready to grab your drink. It shows respect for the baristas, and it keeps things moving.
Because nothing says, I don't care about this handcrafted beverage like missing your name being called.
Exactly. And once you've got your drink, that's the time to ask for any extras, like a lid, a straw, whatever you need.
So no sprinting back to the counter 5 minutes later because you suddenly realized you wanted whipped cream.
Well, let's try to avoid that, shall we? It's all about being mindful of everyone's time.
Got it. Be present, be attentive, and speak up if you need something, but at the right moment.
It's got it.
You know, it's funny. We often think of coffee shops as just places to get our caffeine fix. But after really dissecting this whole experience, it's so much more than that.
Totally. It's a place to work, to socialize, to just enjoy a few quiet moments.
And the way this whole culture has sprung up around coffee, it's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. What is it about this experience, this whole ritual that's become so ingrained in our lives?
It's a question worth pondering. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to step out of the coffee shop and into the rest of our day. But, hey, at least now we can face that menu with confidence.
And maybe even discover a new favorite drink along the way.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us for this caffeinated deep dive, everyone. Until next time, happy coughing.